Alright, everyone settle in, grab your favorite game day snack because today we are diving headfirst into a topic that has been absolutely tearing the football world apart ever since its introduction. We are talking about VAR and specifically the absolute unadulterated chaos it unleashed in what should have been a glorious opening match of the season. I mean, seriously, I was so hyped for this game. I had my jersey on, my snacks ready, my voice already warming up for those goal celebrations, but what we got instead was a masterclass in how to completely suck the joy out of the beautiful game. You see, the opening match of any season or tournament is supposed to be a celebration, a fresh start, full of hope and excitement for what is to come. It is the moment we all collectively fall back in love with football after a long break, dreaming of spectacular goals, incredible saves and nail-biting finishes. But this particular match felt like a cruel experiment designed to test the limits of our patience and our very sanity, all thanks to the ever-present shadow of the video assistant referee. From the very first whistle, there was an electric atmosphere in the stadium. You could feel the anticipation buzzing through the air. It was palpable. The fans were roaring, the players were flying into tackles, and the game was played at a blistering pace, just pure, unadulterated footballing action. Then, like a sudden cold shower, the first major VAR incident struck and everything just ground to a halt. It started with what looked like a perfectly legitimate goal, a fantastic flowing move culminated in a clinical finish that sent half the stadium into raptures. I was on my feet screaming, celebrating with everyone around me, feeling that pure rush of adrenaline that only a goal can bring. But then the referee put his finger to his ear and that familiar sinking feeling began to creep in. Because we all knew what was coming next. The VAR check began, and what should have been a quick review turned into an agonizing eternity of waiting and wondering. We saw replays on the big screen from angles that seemed to distort reality, making a clear decision almost impossible to discern. The crowd started to get restless, a mix of boos and nervous murmurs filling the air as the clock ticked away with no resolution in sight. The initial decision from the VAR room was that the goal was offside, a marginal call that involved lines being drawn across the screen in what looked like a geometry lesson gone wrong. They showed us a freeze frame where a player's big toe, or maybe even a stray hair, was supposedly beyond the last defender. I mean, come on, we are talking about millimeters here, not a clear and obvious error that VAR was supposedly brought in to correct. This decision instantly killed the momentum of the attacking team they had poured their hearts into. That move only to have it snatched away by a technological intervention. The players were visibly frustrated, their shoulders slumped, and you could see the disbelief etched on their faces. It felt like the spirit of the game was being sacrificed on the altar of hyper-precision, a precision that frankly often feels arbitrary and inconsistent. Just a few minutes later, we had another huge VAR intervention, this time involving a penalty shout. At the other end of the pitch, a defender slid in, seemingly winning the ball cleanly, but the attacker went down clutching his leg. And the referee initially waved play on. Then, of course, the familiar signal came again. The referee was sent to the monitor to review the incident himself. This review took even longer than the first one, with the referee repeatedly watching the replay from various angles in slow motion. The problem with slow motion, as we all know, is that it exaggerates every single contact. Every little brush becomes a brutal collision. What looked like a fair challenge in real time suddenly appeared much worse under this microscopic scrutiny. After what felt like an age, the referee pointed to the spot and awarded a penalty, much to the fury of the defending team and their fans. They argued that the defender clearly got the ball first, and that any contact was minimal and incidental, not enough for a penalty. This decision was a complete game changer, giving the other team a golden opportunity to take the led from what felt like a very soft call. The penalty was converted and suddenly the game had completely flipped on its head, all because of two highly contentious VAR decisions. The energy in the stadium had shifted from excited anticipation to palpable frustration and anger. Fans were booing every time the ball went out of play, fearing another lengthy stoppage and another controversial call. Then came the third major incident, and this one involved a potential red card for what was deemed violent conduct. A player went into a challenge with a high foot, catching his opponent on the shin, but the referee initially gave a yellow card, deeming it reckless but not malicious. However, VAR decided to intervene once again, urging the referee to take another look. Again, the referee went to the monitor and spent several minutes agonizing over the footage, watching it frame by frame. The slow-motion replays made the contact look incredibly dangerous, even though in real time it seemed more clumsy than intentionally violent. The crowd was on edge, knowing that a red card would completely change the complexion of the match. Eventually, the referee emerged from the monitor and upgraded the yellow card to a straight red, meaning the team was now down to 10 men for the majority of the game. This was a devastating blow, especially in an opening match where both teams were trying to establish dominance. The decision felt incredibly harsh and disproportionate to what actually happened in the heat of the moment. The player who was sent off was absolutely distraught. He could not believe the decision, and his teammates were furious, protesting vehemently to the referee. It was clear that this VAR intervention had completely altered the course of the match, and not for the better. The game, which had started with such promise, was now marred by controversy and constant interruptions. The rest of the match was played out under a cloud of tension and resentment, with every whistle and every foul being met with suspicion. The flow of the game was constantly broken up by these lengthy VAR checks, making it incredibly difficult for either team to build any rhythm or momentum. It felt less like a football match and more like a series of disjointed incidents punctuated by technological reviews. The total time added on at the end of each half was astronomical, reflecting the sheer amount of time lost to these constant stoppages. We are talking about 10 minutes of added time in the first half alone, which is just ridiculous for a game that is supposed to be 90 minutes of continuous action. It felt like we were watching a stop-start basketball game rather than a free-flowing football encounter. The fan experience was completely ruined. I saw people checking their phones out of boredom during the long VAR delays, or just shaking their heads in despair. The spontaneous joy of a goal or a great tackle was replaced by an immediate sense of dread, wondering if VAR would intervene and snatch the moment away. It is like celebrating Christmas only to have someone immediately check if Santa actually got all the regulations right. This match really highlighted the fundamental problem with the current application of VAR. It is supposed to correct clear and obvious errors, but it is constantly intervening for marginal, subjective calls. The threshold for intervention seems to be incredibly low, leading to an over-reliance on technology and a diminishing of the on-field referee's authority. It feels like the referees are constantly second-guessing themselves, or being second-guessed by someone in a bunker miles away. The concept of the spirit of the game, which emphasizes fluidity, fairness, and allowing the game to flow, seems to have been completely forgotten. Instead, we are now obsessing over microscopic details that often do not impact the overall fairness or outcome of a play in any meaningful way. It is turning football into a sterile laboratory experiment rather than a passionate human endeavor. We need to seriously re-evaluate how VAR is being used, because this level of chaos and disruption is simply unsustainable. The technology itself is not the enemy, it is the way we are implementing it, the way we are interpreting the rules and the way we are allowing it to overshadow the actual game. We need more clarity, more consistency, and perhaps a higher threshold for intervention. Perhaps we need to empower the on-field referee more and only use VAR for truly egregious errors that everyone can agree on. Maybe we need to limit the number of reviews or set a strict time limit for each check to prevent these agonizing delays. Whatever the solution, it is clear that something needs to change, because what we witnessed in that opening match was a travesty. Football is about passion, emotion, and the beautiful, unpredictable nature of the game. It is about the roar of the crowd, the skill of the players, and the drama of 90 minutes of action. When VAR constantly interrupts that flow, when it turns clear goals into disallowed decisions, and fair challenges into red cards, it strips away the very essence of what we love about football. I love this sport with all my heart and I want to see it thrive, but this kind of VAR chaos is slowly but surely eroding the joy and integrity of the game. We deserve better, the players deserve better, and the fans who invest their time, money, and emotions deserve better. Let us hope that lessons are learned from this opening match debacle, and that we can find a way to use technology to enhance the game, not destroy its soul. Thank you for sticking with me through this extended rant, because it is a topic I feel incredibly passionate about. What do you guys think about VAR and its impact on the game? Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree that it is causing more chaos than clarity, or do you think it is a necessary evil for modern football? Let us keep this conversation going, because our beautiful game depends on it.